Pam. She helped me with the book cover, and she helped me to understand the way I had the book written. I needed to change some things. I did all those things, and Pam was promoting me, and for a long time the book wasn't doing anything, wasn't taking off, and then it began to pick up. But Pam went to somewhere, CBA, and she gave my book to someone 2 years ago. And I guess she gave them a whole bunch of books, right? And they took the books and they were like, okay, all right, we'll let you know if we find something that we're interested in. And that happened 2 years ago. Well, I was selling books, and I got to the point where I said, okay, God, where are we going now? I got to get some more books. I'm gonna purchase some more books. And where are we going now? What are you going to do now? And God just began to minister to me, because a lot of times when you see the dream that you have and you don't see it going as fast as you want it to go, you either have a decision that I'm going to continue to do it, or I am going to quit. Just move on and do something else, and just let that dream die. And that was the decision that I had to make. And I'm like, no, Lord, this is something that you placed in my heart to do. This is what I'm going to do. And so I began to move into the next phase of the book, which is starting a male mentoring program that's going to be starting in August of this year. And there are multiple people who are interested in it, and it's male mentoring from a Christian perspective. We have male mentoring programs all over the nation, but when you really think about it, they're all secular. And you can't talk to people about God. You really can't let them understand this is the true source of who I am. And the book was just the beginning of that. And so, I began to write down, okay, how's this going to be structured? How's this going to happen? And as I continued to be faithful, I got an email. And I don't always check my email, which I've been bad about. But I got an email, and I went through the email, and I saw this email from this lady named Peggy Hildebrand. And she is the co-owner of a publisher called Bridge Logos. Now, Bridge Logos, they do Catherine Kuhlman, they do Young Eat Show, and Young Eat Show has the largest church in the world, over 700,000 members. They do a lot of people, and they said, we got your book 2 years ago, and we just went through the number of books that we had last week, and your book was on top, and we were looking for a particular type of book, and when we picked it up and we saw the name of it, we knew that this was the book that we wanted to publish.
Wow.
And so what we want to do, and so what we want to do, we want to publish your book. And I'm like, okay, all right, you don't know me, but because of what Pam did in terms of going to, because she goes to conferences all over the nation, right? In terms of what she did, and just having my book and giving my book to someone, not knowing when that seed is going to germinate. But when you plant a seed in the ground, there's several things that you have to do. One, you have to water that seed. When you put that dirt on top of that seed has to struggle when it goes through the dirt. It's not just going, okay, that seed's going to automatically come up. There's going to be a struggle to break through that ground. But what you have to do is you have to water that seed. And so what part of watering the seed is continuing to be faithful, continuing to believe in what God has placed in you, continuing to pray, continuing to confess that it's going to happen. And as you continue to do those things, continue to be faithful, then God will bless you. And so my book is going to be re-released in the fall of this year. Same title, but national distribution.
In Search of a Father by Terrence.
I thank God, and I give God all the glory. But I also have to thank Pam, because if it were not for her,